I'm going to do two of them. The wind blows for those who ever worked in a newsroom. And the wind blows for those who work in a newsroom now. There you have it.
If you ask most people, would you like to spend more time driving or less time driving, they'd say, well, I'd rather spend less time driving. But we've designed a world that for many people, driving is really the only way to accomplish your daily needs.
So one of the new things that's happened with technology is applications such as this, which a lot of my friends have, One Bus Away, which lets you see what buses are coming to your stop soon in real time.
And then we have justices up front.
The court shall come to order, and all persons having matters before this honorable court shall come forward. So, with that, we'll commence. Yeah, I think this is great because it gives texture to what they're studying. It's not all theory, and you can see from the argument and the discussion that took place, it invokes a little bit of passion in people. So it makes it a much more real experience.
You can't have it both ways. You can't say that a decision that a lawmaker, a duly elected lawmaker, makes in one instance is constitutional because they're elected by the people, and another instance isn't. You can't do that.
So all those in favor of the petitioner's argument, could you raise your hands? For all those in favor of the respondent's argument? Thank you.
There's a Fandango at Hidmo tonight. What are you doing? Yeah, I thought so.
As the performance group that has extended out of the Seattle Fandango project, we're called Tequio. And Tequio is it's a Oaxacan a word. Tequio means it's sort of like another word for conviviality, but really it's how the community sort of brings their resources together to help somebody. So let's say somebody's building a house, so a tequio will form in order to help them put their house up. I think that music is the excuse, and at times it's the tool to build community. Sunshine medicine.
I'd like you all to participate in a little imagination exercise. So what image comes to mind when I say police officer? What about nurse? And what about computer scientist? So I'd like you to hold those images in your mind for a few minutes. I'll return to them later in the talk.
This is a long-standing tradition in oceanography, and we have a lot of young, new oceanographers on the ship. So we were able to let them decorate their own cups, as well as some styrofoam heads.
I made a UW cup, put a big W on it. School of Oceanography has a wave logo, so I put that on it, and I drew a little ship and map.
Out on this cruise in the North Pacific Ocean, we have an opportunity to collect samples from the deep ocean from 2,600 meters. So we lowered a device down to that depth, and to it we attached a bunch of styrofoam. Styrofoam cells are filled with air, and at depth that air compresses. So what happens is the styrofoam cups and mannequin heads shrink and become smaller and smaller. But then when you raise it back up from the deep ocean, the styrofoam can't re-expand. So what you end up with is a much smaller, much more dense styrofoam material.
Sometimes it's uniform, sometimes it's not, but it's just oceanography tradition that we do on research cruises. It's my first time partaking of the tradition.
We don't bring styrofoam on board the ship for any reason other than to do this, basically to shrink the styrofoam at depth. And then we save the styrofoam, so we're not introducing it into the environment. And for the new oceanographers on board, now they have something to remember their cruise by.